So again, the important point over here that we're taking with us is that here we're beginning to see where there is a rift, a distinction, and this is the where we're going with all this, and ultimately what we need to do about this and how to deal with this cognitive dissonance. By the way, anybody who senses a cognitive dissonance in what you are experiencing and that which you know to be the truth about God and his relationship to you and to the world, that you're not separate, that is an extremely healthy thing. It creates a tension in life. Not anxiety. It shouldn't create anxiety. It should create a tension. By that tension, then you seek to find consistency. If there is no tension, which means there is no cognitive dissonance, that means that you're only seeing the world in one perspective. Now, if you're righteous, you're seeing it from God's perspective. If you are like me and the rest of us, then you're going to see from the human condition, and what you're going to feel, and what you're going to sense, what you're going to know is me, myself, and I. And that is the only reality. And then my five senses and my particular needs and desires, that they should be fulfilled. So this concept of cognitive dissonance is a very healthy idea that introduces into our lives that there's a different dimension, different perspective on how to see the world and how to see myself in that world. And that is the beginning of what we call Avodah, of divine service, which is a beautiful idea. Any thoughts on that? Anybody to share? What about that? Anybody sense the cognitive dissonance in their lives? Elka, what is our meditation supposed to be to have the closest connection to Hashem, and how frequently should we be meditating on this reality? Oh, wonderful question, Elka. Thank you. Actually, a beautiful segue into the upcoming course, JLI, Meditations from Sinai, which will be specifically to help us in this area, that we can rise above, our human condition, and to be first and foremost to recognize, hey, there's something incongruent here. There's the human perspective, me, myself, and I perspective, how I am seeing the world, but there is something greater, there is something higher that I can come to achieve. And it's going to unfold in forthcoming classes, but the meditation that Elka is mentioning, that will be something that you please go to JLI Montreal, unless you're going to a JLI course in your city from a Chabad rabbi there, then by all means do that for sure. But if you'd like to take it with me, then it's going to be on Zoom, and it's only for those who sign up. JLIMontreal.com, and at least look there for the information, and if you're interested, do sign up. Lori, this is profound. Is cognitive dissonance equivalent to the animal soul and divine soul? Yes. Yes and no. That's the way it comes down, I mean, Lori, absolutely correct what you're saying. But we're starting from the beginning point, before animal soul. In other words, right now, till this point, Where was the cognitive dissonance? Now, in today's class, it's the beginning point of where there is that distinction. So it will finally reflect itself in the animal soul and divine soul, absolutely. But this is its beginning point. But very good point, Laurie. Thank you. John, with each successive sin, the divine presence moved from one firmament to the next. Is this similar to Tzimtzum? Yes and no. Tzimtzum that we're speaking about here is not because of sin. Tzimtzum meaning contraction, condensing the light is not because of sin. When sin isn't about condensing light, it's about taking the light and putting it into the other side, into klipa. It's putting it into an area of an unhealthy place. Tzimtzum does that in some manner. That's true. It does ultimately. So there is that similarity. But Tzimtzum is the creative process that God is doing. Through sin, we kind of hurry up that process, so to speak, if that's the right word. I don't know. So Michael wants to clarify that the knowledge of two dimensions is the dissonance. Yes, exactly. And that's why it's called cognitive, because it's the knowledge, the awareness of it. Yeah, exactly. So today we begin the journey of that cognitive dissonance that we will allow us, right? Again, what I want to stress, what I want to stress over here, very important, is the first thing is this awareness of the two distinct ways to see things, God's perspective and our perspective. As we said today, from God's perspective, his speech doesn't leave him. It doesn't come out. It's not separate. It's like the speech where it originally comes from is from our emotions and intelligence, and there it's beyond language. It's nullified. It's in its source, so to speak. So that's God's perspective. He created us. And from that perspective, we're not separate. But then there is how speech comes out from our perspective, which we're going to speak about more. Okay, I think I answered everybody. Reminder today, 1 o'clock Rambam. Those who missed last night's class about disabilities, it was something very, very special. You can get it on YouTube, or you can get it on TanyaRabbi.com. Reminder about emails. If you go to Tanya Rabbi, you can share with us that there. Okay. All right. Today's Tu B'Shvat, the holiday of trees. Why do we celebrate today in the land of Israel, Tu B'Shvat, when celebrating trees and nothing is growing or barely anything is growing? Definitely fruits are not being born and emerging, budding. The rain season has come and given enough sap to the trees that it begins the process of renewal, begins the process that will eventually come, and that there will be fruit-bearing trees. This teaches us an important thing. We don't celebrate when we have the fruit in hand, but we celebrate the fact that there is the potential of life. That life will emerge in the tree. I mean, life emerges now in the tree, but it will reach its full potential when it's actually a fruit-bearing tree. Yet we celebrate now that potential. So likewise, we need to celebrate the potential that we see in others. The other mates a the person's likened to the tree in the field. So we should celebrate the potential in another person. And by celebrating it, that will definitely allow that person to emerge with their potential, and that it should actually be realized in their lives. That's the holiday. All right, I don't see any other comments, questions. Everybody's kind of quiet on Clubhouse today. What's going on?
It was a very beautiful share, Rabbi.
Thank you.
I do think about that when I speak to people or when I listen to them, is that each one of us, each human, has a holy soul with great potential. Sometimes it's hard to just listen, but that's what I like to do, because that's how I learn and I honor people. Because there's always great potential there, whoever you're speaking to or listening to, including yourself.
Thank you. All right, beautiful, wonderful. All right, folks, to be continued. All right, God willing, tomorrow. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zuch and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. And a freilichen Tu B'Shvat. Be well. Don't forget to eat some fruit, especially the fruits of the Holy Land of Israel. Be well.